Questions arise amongst the public as the travel mask mandate comes to an end. What does that mean for airline staff?
And the pandemic takes a toll on the nation's youth in a new survey.
And the winner of the UNC Ricco Ethics Scholarship was announced just recently. Find out who later in the show.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV News at Noon.
Joining us on ntTV News at Noon, I'm Christine Guevara.
And I'm Ashton Cotton.
Airlines are struggling as spring travel surges rise. As airlines are managing a shortage of staff, increased demand, and now the end of the federal mask mandate, Jen Sullivan with CNN takes a look at how airlines are adapting.
In the middle of a spring break travel surge, airlines are dealing with sudden and sweeping changes, from staffing shortages to now maskless flights.
There should be a more orderly transfer, and we're really concerned about the chaos that this created.
A 14-month-long federal mask mandate that required masks on board planes and other forms of public transportation has ended, and a growing list of U.S. airlines are now making masks optional, including Delta, American, United, Southwest, Alaska, and JetBlue.
Masks will be optional this evening.
The Association of Flight Attendants is praising the move, but worries about the work it may create segregating the masked who don't want to be with the unmasked.
This is going to create a situation where flight attendants are essentially creating the smoking and non-smoking sections on the planes like we used to.
This comes as airlines are canceling flights due to major staffing shortages. Earlier this month, Southwest's pilots union released a statement saying pilots are suffering from an epidemic of fatigue as the airline looks to hire new pilots.
Retention is becoming an issue as we see pilots take the first offer they get, but then get other offers and leave.
JetBlue Airlines said it's trimming flights by up to 10% this summer, and Alaska Airlines plans to trim its flight schedules by 2% through June. Delta pilots say they're being pushed to the limit on a regular basis.
Longer days with shorter nights at home, shorter layovers, and our pilots are tired and fatigued.
Delta says it's looking to hire 200 new pilots each month. For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The summer season is expected to be even busier for airlines as travelers take their summer vacations.
While masks are currently optional on most airlines, you might be back to wearing masks by the time summer flights begin. The CDC remains firm on their opinion that masks should still be mandatory and have spoken to the Department of Justice about reinstating the travel mandate. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki had this to say.
Our preference was certainly not that to have had the judge rule as the judge ruled just a couple of days ago earlier this week. And actually the CDC has asked the Department of Justice to appeal this ruling. So they're going to do that. That's important for two reasons. One, because we think it's entirely reasonable, as the Department of Justice, for the CDC, the health and data experts, health experts most importantly, in our administration to be able to have that time to evaluate, but also because they want to fight to ensure the CDC's authority and ability to put in mandates in the future remains intact. We know there's going to be ups and downs in this pandemic. We're all ready for it to be over, but we want to ensure that our public health experts are able to take steps if needed in the future.
The Department of Justice has filed an appeal to the Florida judge ruling, but it could take weeks or even months to reach a final decision as the appeal makes its way through the many phases of discussions within the federal government.
Ashton, I walked out of my apartment this morning and I immediately felt the humidity. Not good for the hair.
You know, I'm actually from Houston, so like 100 degrees is kind of like an average for us.
Yeah. Not here.
Yeah, so let's go over to our weather anchor, Maya Nicholson, for first look. How's it looking out there, Maya?
Thanks, Christine and Ashton. I agree. A braided hairstyle was my best solution to how windy and humid this week's weather has been. Right now, the sun is out with a few clouds in the sky. Our temperatures are pretty warm, sitting at 81 degrees, feeling like 83. Later on this evening, it is going to be partly cloudy, and our temperatures are going to drop to around 70 degrees. Tomorrow, we are going to have a high near 85 degrees, and we should expect similar cloud coverage and wind speeds around 13 miles per hour. That's all I have for our first look forecast. Back to you at the desk.
The Crown Act is a bill that has prohibited race-based discrimination in the workplace and in schools across the nation. Hair discrimination is an ongoing issue that many people, students, and athletes and job seekers know well too well. The ntTV's Andrea Valdez tells us more, and take a look.
I was never, made to love my hair in the spaces that I was in.
In 2021, Joy Collective partnered with Dove to conduct a study among 1,000 black and white girls, revealing 86% of black teens experienced discrimination based on their hair by age 12.
I don't have hair like everybody else, and I mean everybody else doesn't have the same hair, but growing up in communities where I was around, my white peers, and their hair was a lot straighter and I guess more manageable than mine, it was really hard.
UNT student Kimberly Mondolazzi explains how her brother, who was a football player, wasn't allowed to play because of his hair.
Never was his locks a problem up until he got into middle school and he was playing football, and they said that he could not have his locks.
The mother of high school student Jacob Rush, who is not allowed to walk at graduation because of his locks, said, quote, "Schools and workplace should keep in mind the importance of diversity and respecting other cultures. Hair discrimination is real and should be abolished."
I've heard many cases where it's like you can't walk in graduation because you have a certain hairstyle, or you can't go to prom, or it seemed more inappropriate to have certain hairstyles, and it's just really ridiculous, and it's really saddening to hear those things.
Senators have drawn up the Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair Act of 2022, or CROWN Act, which will prohibit hair discrimination in the workplace and in schools.
It's a sad realization that as a child, you have to be told to be ready to face discrimination and face backlash because of what you look like.
The CROWN Act passed in the House and is on its way to Senate. In Texas, Harris County drafted and passed their own version of the bill and is on one of many locations in the U.S. to either have a version in place or in the process of creating one. Denton County Sheriff's employee John Milstead has filed a discrimination lawsuit against DCSO after being placed on one administrative leave and then ultimately terminating him following a fitness for duty test. Milstead and his Dallas employment attorney filed their civil lawsuit earlier this month. Milstead had been with DCSO since 2014 and was terminated in April of last year. After taking several weeks off due to mental health concerns, Milstead then discovered that he had been in contact with a COVID-positive individual and needed additional time off to recover and quarantine. The lawsuit states that his supervisors became upset and annoyed and began to scrutinize his doctor's notes. The lawsuit also alleges a, quote, drastic change, unquote, in how Milstead was treated by his peers upon his return. He has placed on administrative leave pending an investigation for insubordination, and shortly thereafter he was notified that he had performed a fitness for duty test due to observations by his department that his work had declined. His admittance of his depression struggles and his, quote, excessive use of leave, unquote. The case is still under investigation and DCSO has no comment at this time.
Mental health in children and teens in the U.S. has only worsened through the pandemic. In fact, the U.S. Surgeon General's office identified deteriorating mental health as an urgent crisis among the nation's youth. CNN Cole Higgins has more.
I've had a lot of friends come to me telling me that they're struggling.
High school students in Naperville, Illinois, opening up to U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy.
A lot of students don't think that their issues are severe enough to go and talk to like a counselor or a social worker and get help. And I think that's something that we really need to destigmatize.
According to survey results published last month by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than a third of high school students in the U.S. experienced poor mental health at least most of the time during the pandemic, with more than 2 out of 5 students feeling persistent sadness or hopelessness that caused them to stop doing some usual activities.
We don't have a lack of ingenuity or committed individuals or resources. What we need more of is to connect them with one another.
This year's passage of the Consolidated Appropriations Act includes $111 million for school-based mental health grants. Dr. Murthy acknowledging what peers can do to help each other.
The items that you honed in on immediately, thinking about the role of social media, about how it impacts your sense of worth and value, about some of the cultural forces that lead us to feel like we're not enough. These are at the heart of what we've got to address, and those insights are ones that not everyone has.
For today's Health Minute, I'm Cole Higgins.
And while we are on the topic of mental health, if you live in Joe Green, you may have seen a little black cat roaming the halls. Well, his name is Garbanzo, and he has a greater purpose there than what you might think. Garbanzo is an emotional support animal, and his owner is Grace Shado. Grace opened up to us about her mental health and how Garbanzo has made such a positive impact. However, some people may not understand the significance and purpose this furry friend fulfills. ntTV's Hannah Gonzalez was able to talk with Garbanzo's owner about the relief he provides to her and others.
You didn't see the stuff that I went through first semester, or the things that, you know, have happened, and you haven't seen the difference that he has actually made for me. Like, my grades are better, I participate in more things, like I can actually go out and experience college.
Not only has Garbanzo alleviated the stress of college for Grace, but he has also put a smile on faces of other residents in Joe Green.
People have come up to me and have said, like, oh, I haven't seen a cat in months, like this just made my day. So it's not only is he like helping me by being here, he's also helping other people.
To keep up with Garbanzo and his journey in college, you can visit his Instagram at Garbanzo the dormcat.
Thanks, Christine. I'll definitely follow their Instagram for more cute content. If saving the planet means the world to you, find out what UNT is doing to celebrating their Earth Day, coming up after the break.
Hi, I'm Kennedy, the president of Black Film Club, and what I love about BFC is the atmosphere and the members. The family feel that we have in our club is really genuine. What about you, Bree?
My name is Bree. I'm the vice president of Black Film Club, and what I love about Black Film Club is it's a small but close, like, little family. You know, I feel like a lot of times when you go to a PWI, it's hard to find like a Black community that share the same interests in you. So I'm very blessed and grateful to have, you know, found my family.
What I would say I like about Black Film Club is obviously the environment that it sets for everybody. I love the officers. I've been rocking with basically all of them since day one, since freshman year. We all came in here at the same time, all got involved with Black Film Club at the same time. So it's been a nice like community to grow with, and then seeing like new members come, seeing them get interested, seeing how they like Black film, teaching them what we can teach them before we leave, and giving them the mantle to take over. It's a blessing.
So a man's been walking in the desert for days at a time. He finally comes across a bar and orders a Coke.
That's not funny.
Eh? Eh?
You know, Christine, I love when Easter falls in April because it just gives me one more excuse to take off for another holiday.
You're totally right. In April, we also get to celebrate Earth Day. In fact, I think our reporter Sydney Applegate has some fun information on ways we can get more involved. Sydney?
Thanks, Christine. Tomorrow marks Earth Day, and since the very first celebration back in 1970, we recognize April 22nd as the anniversary of the environmental movement's beginnings. So, if you mean green, UNT Activities is putting on their annual Earth Fest. Today, out on the Library Mall, you and your friends can enter fun giveaways and participate in awesome activities, all with your student ID. There will also be live entertainment, local vendors, and the event will be serving a 100% plant-based meal if you need a pick-me-up. Earth Fest begins at 4 and ends at 7 p.m., so stop by and show your support. And just in time for Earth Day, major electronics retailer Best Buy is offering a new service. For $200, Best Buy will pick up your large tech items that need to be recycled, and you won't even have to leave the house. It's called the Best Buy Standalone Haul Away Service. From large items such as big screen TVs and washing machines to smaller items like laptops and gaming consoles, you can donate up to 2 items for each pickup. What better way to start off your spring cleaning? That's all I have for now. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Sydney. Since 2011, the Ricco Ethics Scholarship was provided for undergraduate and graduate students here at UNT. It's an ethics competition that promotes intellectual debate and motivates applicants to think about reasoning and self-discipline on a higher level. And for the very first time, a student within our media arts department achieves this award. I got the chance to speak with the winner himself. Take a look.
I've never won a scholarship before, so yeah, no, I've been paying out of pocket this whole time.
Our very own ntTV volunteer, Davis Anderton, wins first place in the UNT Ricco Ethics Scholarship Competition undergraduate category. It all began fall of 2021 when Anderton's media ethics professor, Marjorie Lewis, encouraged her students to apply for the scholarship.
And she sent out a message to the whole class saying, hey, if you're interested in the scholarship, feel free to do it. And I was like, I mean, might as well. It was a 1,000-word essay.
This year's topic was cybersecurity on a college campus. Here's what the subject matter was. A college had issues to where their password system was too weak, but after trying to fix it, it became overly protective to where the new password was too difficult to remember. And therefore, applicants took this ethical dilemma and had to find a way to solve the problem. For Anderton, he used Aristotle's golden mean principle.
The golden mean is a balance between two extremes, which is one extreme being the weak password system, one extreme being the strong password system. So I was like, all right, let's use the golden mean to figure out a proper password system. And that was basically the entirety of my essay.
And in about 2 hours, Anderton had his written essay ready for submission. He found out he won the $5,000 scholarship this past January and will use the money for the upcoming fall 2022 semester.
I have a college fund, it just ran out. Like for the semester here, I was like, I have to pay for my last 2 semesters without my college fund. And then boom, next semester's paid for. Oh my God, thank you.
If you're interested in applying for the scholarship, applications will open next fall for the 2022-2023 academic year.
Christine, do you have any plans going into this weekend?
I actually do. I plan to go to Dallas with a friend of mine, but I'm a little nervous about the weather.
Or are you planning to be outside, or what's the move?
Not so sure yet, but most likely. But let's toss it back to our weather anchor, Maya Nicholson, for our full weather. Maya?
Thanks, Christine and Ashton. Our full weather forecast never fails to help you plan out your week. Let's take a look at our map across North Texas. Decatur and Fort Worth are the same temperature as Denton at 81 degrees. McKinney has our lowest sitting at 76. Looking at our map across the state, we have 79 degrees in Oklahoma City and 85 degrees in Abilene. Finishing off with our 7-day forecast, Friday we have a high of 85 and a low of 71. Sunday, there's a 40% chance of rain and a high of 87. Monday, that chance of rain is expected to raise to about 72%. Finishing off our forecast, Wednesday the sun should be out and our high should be near 81. That's all I have for our full weather forecast. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Maya. Today is April 21st, which marks a big day for the royal family. It is Queen Elizabeth II's 96th birthday. This occasion will be marked with a 41-gun royal salute in Hyde Park, London, but the biggest festivities will be saved for her official royal birthday celebration in June. The Queen recently missed the annual Easter services for the first time in 50 years, as she is said to be bouncing back from COVID-19. We are all aware that Americans tend to be a bit involved with the royal family, and this is no different from the California company Mattel. Barbie announced that the Queen is getting a doll for her birthday. Queen Elizabeth is the longest reigning British leader and the only one to ever reach the Platinum Jubilee, which is 70 years at the throne. The doll adds to the Barbie's tribute series that began last year and will go on sale today at major retailers. From all of us here at ntTV, we wish you, a monarch, a very happy birthday.
If you're a fan of a good bowl of cereal in the morning, then you might not be so lucky after hearing this.
And find out the Russian-Ukrainian war is affecting sports world as well. Stay with us.
Hey man, are you okay in there? You look terrible. Have you been up Don't you know that according to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, staying up all night can have a negative effect on your GPA?
Sleep?
Yeah, go to bed.
Man, I have all these non-perishable food items, and I don't know what to do with them.
I don't have any food at all.
Do you have too many non-perishable goods?
Yeah.
Have you run out of food and can't get any more?
Yeah.
Well, don't have a cow? Head on down to the UNC Food Pantry. Located behind Crumley Hall and Diamond Eagle Student Resource Center, the Food Pantry is the place for UNC students to get all the food they need. You'll be utterly surprised by all the options they have there. From gluten-free to lactose intolerant, even vegan and vegetarian, they have it all. Go to studentaffairs.unt.edu/foodpantry for more information.
Move on down to the UNC Food Pantry.
Now, have you ever felt sick after eating the popular Lucky Charms cereal? Well, you are not alone. The FDA investigates recent online reports of the cereal causing gastrointestinal issues. This came to the attention of the FDA after an online poison website reported that more than 1,300 people said they were feeling ill after eating the cereal. However, cereal maker General Mills says it has found no evidence of people getting sick. And the FDA says it has received minimal complaints about this issue directly. The FDA has started an on-site inspection of the cereal production sites, but has not announced a recall.
For many, walking through the busy mall concourse with a group of friends is a staple of their teen years. But for teens in Arlington, that staple now requires a chaperone. Parks Mall in Arlington has introduced a new weekend curfew after a large fight broke out among teenagers last weekend. There were no serious injuries, but multiple teens were arrested. The new parental guided required program will require anyone under 18 to have chaperone over 21 after 2 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. Mall officials will be placed at entrances to check ID for anyone who looks young. Those over 18 will be given wristbands so they can avoid being asked for their ID again during their visit. Adults are able to accompany up to 4 teenagers each during their curfew period.
In an unprecedented move, Wimbledon will not allow players from Russia and Belarus to compete at this year's tournament. Wimbledon is the oldest and most prestigious tennis tournament in existence. In previous tennis tournaments, officials have allowed Russians to partake in the games under a neutral flag, but no players had been outright banned. Of some of the top players, 3 of the women's top 20 and 2 of the men's top 10 will now no longer compete, including the second highest ranked player in the world. Wimbledon is set to kick off on June 27th. As of now, Russian and Belarusian players will still be able to compete in the French Open tournament, which starts on May 22nd.
Christine, I do see your school spirit. Can I get a go mean green?
Go mean green, hey. But I just had to do it because we love our sports team. But also, I'm supporting our Dallas Mavericks. You know they're green.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. But our sports anchor Sebastian Nava can give us a little bit on that. Sebastian.
Thanks, y'all. The Mavericks are all rested up for Game 3 tonight, and the Rangers were sleepless in Seattle. Stick around for more.
Near Sanctus Spiritus.
I've got a good feeling about this one.
Hey, Maddie, miss me?
Wait, Bud?
What was that all about?
An old friend.
An old friend?
Good to see you, brother.
What the hell are you doing?
That's your lucky day.
Hey, listen to my flow to save some H2O.
This my water rhyme, and this is how it goes. First, turn off the sink and take some time to think. When you waste water, our supply shrinks. When you take a shower, not more than an hour. Shoot for 10 minutes and save water power. Use a reusable bottle, smart like Aristotle. Ditch all the plastic and be a role model. And that was my H2O flow. Please remember how it goes, because if you don't, Earth will go, oh no!
The Dallas Mavericks are set to tip off in Salt Lake City today for Game 3 of their first round series versus the Utah Jazz. Questions around star player Luka Doncic are still lingering after he missed the first 2 games due to a calf injury. But the Mavericks head into the Vivint Arena tied at 1-1 after an explosive game from Jalen Brunson, who went off for 41 points and 8 rebounds in a nail-biting 110-104 win on Monday night. The Mavericks also picked up big contributions from Maxi Kleber, shooting 8 of 11 from 3 to the tune of 25 points off the bench, and Spencer Dinwiddie putting up 17 points. The Mavericks are looking to take a 2-1 series lead tonight at 8 p.m. The Texas Rangers had a sleepless night in Seattle after losing to the Mariners 4-2. The Rangers sent Dane Dunning to start on the mound against a Mariners team that is missing their manager Scott Servais after entering the team's COVID protocols injured list. Dunning got a great start in the first inning with a triple play turned by first baseman Nate Lowe and shortstop Corey Seager. But Dunning would ultimately run out of success after only 4 innings, giving up 3 runs. The Rangers center fielder Adolis Garcia and designated hitter Mitch Garver each finished the game with RBIs in a losing effort, which extended the Rangers' losing streak to 5 games and pushes the team's record down to 2-9. The Rangers will look to break the streak when they match up against the Mariners for Game 3 tonight at 8:40 p.m. Junior college athletics is the Wild West, and Weatherford College baseball has proven that football is a year-round sport here in Texas. This shocking video out of Weatherford shows the Coyotes pitcher Owen Woodward throwing his glove down and charging NCTC's Josh Phillips. It's unclear what started Woodward's reaction, but the school has opened an investigation and Weatherford police are involved. The umpires elected to suspend the game following the incident. And that's all I have for sports. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Sebastian. MIT researchers are hard at work with a new, very important investigation, the study of Oreo. They call it Oreoology, and it focuses on the science of splitting an Oreo perfectly down the middle. On Tuesday, the researchers released a report on their efforts to evenly distribute the cream on both sides of the cookie once separated. They created the Oreometer, a machine designed to precisely split Oreos, but found that even with the perfect accuracy, there is almost always a little bit of cream stuck to either other side. So as science continues the everlasting pursuit of the knowledge, I'll stick to dunking my Oreos in milk. You know, I'm really not a big fan of Oreos. I like the
You aren't?
the vanilla Oreos.
What?
I like the chocolate Oreos.
Vanilla Oreos are so
They
good.
are.
I like them
I don't
as
even
well.
split my Oreos, so I don't have that issue.
See, now I'm just looking forward to switching my major. I want to be an Oreology major now. So
Oh.
journalism, that sounds fun.
Well, this is my last show, you guys, forever. It was really nice working with you all. I really enjoyed it, and you made my last semester very memorable.
You will greatly be missed. We adore you.
Thank you. Love y'all. Love y'all. Thanks for watching ntTV News at Noon.
Join us again here tonight at 6 here on North Texas Television.